Hi. This lesson, we're going to cover a little more in depth the relationship between the circumference and the area of circles. We've covered a little bit about circles in a previous lesson when we began with parallelograms, but a circle is not a parallelogram. A circle is its own kind of thing. So we need to just talk about circles alone for just a second. So there are some pieces of a circle that we want to make sure that we thoroughly understand the words and get the vocabulary down. We have the center of the circle, and then from the center to a point on the edge of the circle is your radius. From the center to the edge, to any point, there's an infinite number of radii on a circle. It's not like a regular polygon where it just goes to a vertex. It just goes anywhere on the circle. So there's a billion kajillion different radii that you could draw on this circle. An important thing about the radius is to know it is 1/2 the distance across the circle every time. The radius is half of the circle. Okay? Give another item for the circle, and we'll do it right beside the radius because I want to be able to see both of them. And it's that. That brown line is your diameter. So the diameter passes through the center, and it's the full length across the circle. So what's the relationship between the diameter and the radius? The diameter is twice the radius. So it equals 2 times r. Now there are some relationships between the radius and the diameter when we begin to look at the circumference and the area. So let's go over our formulas again. The area of a circle equals pi times r squared. The circumference of a circle you will see expressed 2 different ways. Pi times the diameter, or the circumference is also expressed as 2 times pi times the radius. Because isn't the diameter 2 times the radius? If given one, you could use it, either one that you're given, the diameter or the radius, you can always find the circumference. It doesn't matter. But now for area, you can only find that using radius. But now let's talk about circumference. Circumference is really the perimeter of the circle. But since we don't go from corner to corner, we don't call it perimeter, we call it circumference because we're going around the circle. So you need to understand that the perimeter is the exact same thing as the circumference. It's like if you were going to put a belt around your waist, the circumference of your waist would be the length of that belt. No different than perimeter. If you're a security guard securing the perimeter, you are going to walk all the way around that circle, just as if it was a rectangular area or an octagonal area. It's just a different word for it, okay? All right, so let's look at some examples of how you're going to use this in your homework. What if you're given that the radius is 5 yards? and you need to find the circumference. Well, I'm going to use the circumference formula that has radius in it. So circumference equals 2 pi times the radius. Circumference equals 2 times pi times 5. So we'll pop over and put that into our calculator, and this is going to give us an opportunity to use the pi button. So our circumference is 2 times, you have a button on your calculator for pi, right there, pi times the radius, which is 5. Enter. So our circumference is 10 pi. Now, if you need that in a decimal, put the switcheroozy button on, and there is your decimal. So it's either 10 pi exactly or 31.4 estimated to the nearest tenth. 10 pi or 31.4. 10 pi is your exact answer, and 31.4 is your estimated answer, and that is all in yards. It's not a square unit. Perimeter is not a square unit, that's just area. But this is an estimated, so it would have a curly equal sign. Okay? Circumference is not difficult. Now, if trying to find the area, let's say we're given the diameter of 20 inches, and we need the area. So area equals pi times r squared. What's our hour? What's our r? That's 10, because the radius is half the diameter. So that's going to be 100 times pi. So you don't need to do that in your head. We can do pi times 10 squared right on our calculator. Pi times 10, up arrow 2. Enter. There's your answer. And what if you're supposed to round it to the nearest tenth? What if it does not say to leave your answer in terms of pi? Some important words to understand. 100 pi is in terms of pi. We'll switch it, because if we wanted to round it to the nearest tenth, it would be 314.2. 100 pi or 314.2. So this is 100 pi if left in terms of pi, or estimated to nearest tenth at 314.2 inches. And that's how you're going to find the area. Now there is a section here where we're going to work backward. What if we want to find the circumference when we're given the area? So what if we're given this? The area equals 81 pi square meters. So the way that's going to look on your worksheet would be like this: 81 pi meters squared. That's our area. And what we need to find from that is the circumference. Well, we know that area equals pi r squared. So 81 equals pi times the radius squared. We also know that circumference equals 2 pi times the radius. So if I just figured out the radius, I could get the circumference. Well, if I know the area, I could solve for the radius. So we're going to divide both sides by pi. Pi is just a number. When we do that, those pi's on the right are going to cancel out, just like a number. And it's going to equal r squared. So what is 81 divided by pi? Let's go to our calculator and put that in. 81 divided by, push the pi button, 25.78. 25.78 what that is, equals r squared. Now, how do we undo an r squared? You're going to take the square root of both sides to get r out from under that exponent. So the square root of 25.78 is your radius. Let's see what that is. Square root of 25.78. Second, square root 25.78. And that's 5.08, maybe 5.1. It just depends on how they want you to round that. So your radius, let's just use 5.08. It's a little closer for our radius. Now let's find the circumference. So the circumference is 2 pi times the radius. So we need 2 times pi times 5.08. That's going to be our circumference. 2 pi times 5.08. Well, we can just say 2 times pi times 5.08. 31.9. The circumference of that circle is 31.9. And there you go. Solved. So you have the last section where you're going to be doing problems just like that. You've got about 10 problems where you're going to find the circumference using the area. And I see that in this one, I left off my pi in my area right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to say that the area was 81 meters squared. Because when I wrote that down there, I left it out. So I started with an area of 81. This does not match number 21 on your worksheet. Okay? Whatever your area is, you would put it there. Now, if I had had the 81 pi, both of the pi's would have canceled out. I left this pi out right here. I forgot to carry it down, so we're just starting with an area of 81. Hopefully you caught that when I started, and you can solve that one on your own. Okay, so for this one, you are going to do just a little bit of practice on circles and how the diameter and the radius relate to area and circumference. You're going to upload the pictures of your notes, handwritten. You're going to upload pictures of your work shown. You've got some algebraic equations that you're going to be solving in this one, so write those out. Use homework help for anything that gives you trouble. And the last thing, you're going to put your multiple choice answers into the Google form to get your final grade. All right, I'll see you in the next lesson.